Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien, and some of the stories coming up in today's news. Exploring the School of Music, street ambassadors back on the streets, gun show a hit, and more. The fire service in Tasman was kept busy on Monday afternoon with two structural fires. The first was a call out to Brooklyn in the Motueka district, where a small orchard cottage was found to be alight in Little Sydney Road. Appliances from Motueka, Tasman, Mapua, Brightwater, as well as a rural fire tanker attended the scene soon after the fire was discovered around 1:15 p.m. The damage was limited to the cottage, sparing neighbourhood utility buildings after crews spent around 3.5 hours dousing the burnt building. The Richmond, Appleby and Brightwater volunteer fire brigades were called out to a fire on the main road in Hope, where they spent over an hour attending to a structural fire around 3 p.m. Monday afternoon. Neighbours had to wake a 90-year-old man who was asleep in the house and then proceed to assist him to escape his burning property. The garage on the property was totally destroyed in the fire, which was next to the man's house. However, one quick-thinking person used a garden hose to help prevent the fire spreading to the house before the firefighters arrived at the scene. The elderly man was taken to Nelson Hospital in a stressed state, where he was treated and discharged later that day. The Nelson School of Music has reached a significant milestone in its fundraising efforts with the announcement that now has $600,000 in public donations and sponsorship towards the earthquake strengthening and rebuild project. The fundraising campaign was launched in June with an ambitious target of $1.4 million. The school's fundraising efforts will round off this year with 2 afternoons of hard hat tours this coming weekend. I went on a bit of a pre-tour tour of the old School of Music with Bob Bickerton this week. All right, Bob, thanks very much for taking a few minutes to talk to us today.
No problem.
We're in the old School of Music that will soon be the new School of Music.
Yep.
You're showing them off to the public as it was. They're going to be able a chance to see as it was and as it's going to be.
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about these hard hat tours that people can come on?
Well, we thought it'd be really neat to give people an opportunity to have a look around the old school before we start construction. We've got a major construction project coming up, and there's some really interesting little nooks and crannies that people don't get to see. There's the organ behind us and all sorts of little places. We thought it'd be really neat for people to have a look around.
Yeah, no, it sounds great for sure.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about where you're up to now with the School of Music?
Yeah, well, things have really moved along big time in the last 12 months, and we have gone in terms of starting the planning. We've got a final design on the table now. Our fundraising is going well. We still need to go a wee way to get over the line. We have a big application in with Lottery Grants Board at the moment, and we hear about that in December.
Ooh.
And with all being well, we go and start construction in February.
And what are some of the bigger problems that you've got to start before February? I mean, obviously you must be coming along little problems all the time.
Oh, well, that's right. It's a series. It's like a hurdle race, you know, and you go over one hurdle and you've got the next and the next. Some of them are small, some of them are big. Funding's a big one. But the things like Rainy House at the back of the school here is going to be moved off-site.
Wow.
And we need to get the timing right on that, because if we are here for longer than February, then we need to keep Rainy House, but if we're out of here, we need to move it. So there's all those little adjustments that we need to keep making as we move forward.
Wow, yeah. And the hall itself, I mean, what sort of changes are we going to see in here? Are you going to do better acoustics in here? Are the old acoustics no good, or what's going on?
The old acoustics are amazingly good, and it's been a fascinating project from the point of view. It's a balance between heritage and modern functionality. So this old auditorium here is a Category 1 heritage building. It's absolutely sacrosanct. We can't change it. The acoustics in here, it's apparently the finest auditorium in the Southern Hemisphere for chamber music. I've had the chairman of AES, that's the Audio Engineering Society of America, come in here and tell us that this is an auditorium that any city in the States would be proud to have. It's absolutely perfect. Very little happening in here, except we are going to put comfortable seats in and air conditioning. People love that. And also we're going to rake the seats from about halfway back.
Oh,
so
nice.
the sight lines are improved, but we're not compromising the acoustics.
Right.
But out the back, big changes,
Right, nice one. Just goes to show you that, you know, in the old days they knew what they were doing, they got it right first time, and you can't improve on it.
That's right. Well, it's a really interesting question, because what we don't know is whether the original architect knew exactly what he was doing and designed the hall this way, or whether it was some sort of freak accident, but it's absolutely stunning acoustics.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I think they would know what they were doing in the
I
old
think
days.
So. Yeah, I think so.
So these to go back to these hard hat tours.
Yep.
This is the last chance people will get to see it as it was
Yep.
in the old ways.
That's right.
So we're promoting people to come along.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, be
Excellent.
great. Really interesting. And there's a few spooky moments as well.
Bob, on these hard hat tours, you're going to be giving a little bit of history about the building and the people that were involved. Can you give us just a brief take in that?
There's so many little stories, but there's one, my favourite story is this one. You see, before the School of Music was formed in 1894, there was a harmonic society in Nelson, and they used to bring these third-rate conductors out from Europe to conduct them, you see, because they weren't that great. And it was a small place. And they'd got someone lined up to come out, Gustav Hanke. And Gustav Hanke had a friend, Michael Barling, who was one of the top conductors in Europe and a personal friend of Wagner. And the trouble is, Michael Barling had a breakdown, nervous breakdown. And so his friend, Gustav, said, well, look, come out to New Zealand, take my place, 2-year gig, you can relax and, you know, get over your breakdown. He came out here, Michael Barling, so we got a top conductor. But of course, he wasn't someone to rest on his laurels. And he decided what Nelson needed was one of these European music conservatoriums. And he was on a tramp with a couple of local dignitaries, H.C. Cock and F. Gibbs, and they got stuck on a hut on Mount Cook, and Michael Barling pounced and convinced them that Nelson needed a school of music. And within a year, they'd formed the School of Music, 1894, and then in 1901, they'd raised the funds to build this amazing auditorium.
Wow.
So it's all these little stories going back in time. Fantastic.
No, that's amazing. And he came out for a rest. It doesn't sound like he rested very much.
He didn't have much of a rest at all, no, that's right.
Hey, thanks very much.
Yes, cheers.
Proceeds from the tickets for the School of Music tour go towards the renovation and are available by contacting the links provided. Nelson Street Ambassadors patrol the streets during summer weekends from 9:30 p.m. till 4 a.m, looking out for young people who might find themselves in strife while out partying. Joining others like the police and Māori wardens, the Nelson Community Patrols and the Doormen's Association, who all work to keep Nelson safe. Chrissy Small caught up with the coordinator of Street Ambassadors, Sally Wood, to find out about what these ambassadors do in the unsociable hours to keep people safe within our community.
What identifies a street ambassador from any other concerned adult out there?
High-vis vests. I guess the street ambassadors are, I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years, so, you know, over that 10-year period, I've built up quite a skill set in doing the work. So, you know, I can be watching a group of people over here where it's got potential to get out of control and just place myself in the middle of it all and, you know, change the tone of the conversation or the way the interaction is going. But I can also be monitoring through what my other eye, a young person over here who's looking about like she's about to drop and also vomit, you know. So being able to read the situation quite well. There are other concerned adults out there on an evening. Unfortunately, they tend to be intoxicated themselves. And some of the interventions that they want to provide are maybe not the ideal interventions.
Right, I see. So you're dealing with intoxicated adults out there as well. But what kind of age group are you mainly finding that you're needing to be looking out for?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of preloading going on. Obviously, alcohol is quite expensive. People are choosing to drink at home early evening or go to parties and then head to town for a dance. The majority of our work would be with that 18 to 30 year age group, but around Christmas time we tend to get a lot of lone adults that have been to Christmas parties, stayed out a lot longer than they intend to. I've got no idea how they're getting home, and you know, they don't know where to get taxis from, they don't know where to get the late bus from because they're not regulars to town. They're often the most intoxicated and difficult to deal with.
Right. So you kind of, you know, you're the mop and bucket brigade, really, aren't you? You go and help all these unfortunate people who have kind of gotten a bit carried away. So Are you looking for volunteers at the moment?
We have a full staff team at the moment. We've been really lucky in that we've got 16 casual part-time staff that are servicing the contract. We've only had to take on 2 new people, and that's really because I like to give opportunities to young people themselves in that 18 to 24-year-old age bracket that have shown a lot of passion and commitment to the work. And so I've given opportunities to 2 young people like that, who I will also train up in youth work, so they've got the opportunity to do the level 3 certificate, because, you know, hopefully in another 10 years I will still not be doing this. So, you know, we've got to get the next generation of people trained up to take on the work.
Yeah.
The Nelson branch of the Antique and Historical Arms Association held their first militaria and gun show at the Nelson Suburban Club over the weekend. Mainland TV caught up with Paul from the association, who told us a little about what the show was all about.
Paul, you're of the New Zealand Antique
and Historic
Arms Association.
That's it. Yep.
Fantastic. So it's a pretty great little event here. Paul, you got a lot going on, a lot of people here.
We've got a lot going on. We're very, very lucky. This is we had an auction earlier in the year, and so this was sort of in the second attempt to say, hey, we're here, and we're also sort of commemorating the Armistice Day and 100 years of since World War One. So it was decided by the club to actually get involved and do something and show the public that we actually we're not running around shooting people. We're actually displaying and remembering and keeping and restoring weapons and memorabilia from all wars, not just now, and sporting rifles and paraphernalia as well. So it's all part of it, and it's part of our history.
Fantastic. So, I mean, there's a lot of firearms here. How do you ensure that they're safe, that someone's not just going to pick them up and do something with them?
Run away with them, yeah. I think there's enough members around here to tackle them. But, it's again, they've all been deactivated or made so that they won't fire. And so they are reasonably safe. They're just lumps of metal with a bit of wood on them, most of them. So really, but at the end of the day, the safety is quite good, and but we have them roped off so people don't touch them, and we do ask them not to touch without they ask if they can.
Yep.
And then it depends on the owner whether he allows it to be handled or not. Because a lot of cleaning afterwards. Every time someone touches something, you've got to clean the damn thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, Paul, I understand this is your collection here. Roughly, how many firearms do you have in this collection?
Look, I wouldn't have a number on the firearms here, but I've got around about 350 odd firearms in my museum in Antarctica, so that's about right. But probably only about 60 or 80 or 100 here. Yeah.
Right. And so there's a bunch of different areas, a bunch of different stalls. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Yes, certainly. We've got sales tables, so people who were wishing to trade can sell their firearms, and they buy as well, of course. And we have an appraisal table over behind me here, where you can bring an item in, and they give you a price or give you a rough idea what it is, and whether it's an item to have, or whether it's been made up from parts or whatever. And we've had some really fantastic machines brought into here. Nigel was just telling me a minute ago about one that was from the Boer War, which is again 115 years ago, and I've just had a lovely match set of Wesley Richards dueling pistols brought in and showed us. So it means that people can actually come somewhere, find out a price. We've got 3 or 4 experts, or more than that, of course, here, who know their fields. So in any one particular field, we can give you a rough idea of what we think it's worth and whether it's worth hanging on to, and that's what we try and get them to do, because family heirlooms should be actually kept with the families.
Of course, yeah. How many people have you guys had through roughly this weekend?
We've been very, very lucky. We've probably had around about 500 people so far, so it's been really, really good. We're thrilled. Yesterday, we're competing against markets and Nelson Show, and And so, yeah, we've had over 300 and something odd yesterday, and probably another 200 so far today, so been very good.
It's a great show, Paul, and hey, thank you for inviting us along.
No, you're most welcome. Thank you for coming.
Cheers.
And we're hoping to actually do one in Blenheim perhaps next year as again in the similar frame, and then perhaps 2 years' time be back here again and just do it again. We're so thrilled with the response we've got, and as I said, our appraisal table he hasn't stopped for 2 days. So there's a lot of people out there that have firearms, not sure just what to do with them or how they should be treated or whether they're worth keeping or not. And so if we can save our history, and that's what it is, if we can keep it and save it, that's got to be the best part that we can ever do.
Habitat for Humanity has been busy building, and Mainland News went to see the progress the good volunteers from Canada have been making for Habitat for Humanity. Their mission in being here is to build houses for those who would otherwise find it impossible to have their own house. Adam, last time I talked to you, you were a bit worried that you'd come here and work away for a few weeks and then go away and you wouldn't see much progress. How are you feeling now?
I don't have that worry any longer. As a matter of fact, I happen to be wearing the t-shirt from a build that I did in El Salvador several years ago. And at about this time, we had now made a few holes in the ground. That was it for the foundation. And then our trip was over and we went home. And here we have 2 houses that look like they could be occupied already. We came here 8 or 9 days ago. We just had the wood platform at the bottom, and now we have all the walls up. The roofs are all done. It's insulated. The windows are being delivered today, and the sides have been painted. It's just wonderful. It's fantastic. It's a great experience, especially for the first-time people to be able to see. I mean, we can really visualize it. You can see the home partners are here with us, Chung and John and their families. Chung the other day was giving us a tour of his new house and describing who was going to be in this room and what color the walls were going to be painted, and it's really a thrill for all of us to be able to visualize that. And then we think back to the story we've heard of them 15 years ago as they leave their home country and migrate through, and here they are today. So it's a wonderful day for us, and I think it's a great day for Habitat.
Great. Oh yeah, sure is. It's quite amazing. You think this kind of building construction you might take to another place? You could use somewhere else?
Well, I'm no builder, but I think that I could actually build a house with this. It's basically like a Lego set. They all come numbered, and 1 goes into 2, and 2 goes into 3, and you've got the plan, and it goes up relatively quickly. So if you can get a few of your neighbors and your family along, I mean, you could put up maybe not a full-size house, but certainly a shed or a garage within a weekend. I mean, I think this is very practical, extremely practical.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
A national road death toll spike means police action will now be taken. So the message over this upcoming 2-month holiday period is check your speed and stay safe on the roads this summer. Police will again be enforcing a reduced 4km/h speed threshold for all of December and January. Every driver stopped can also expect to be breath tested. While the long-term road toll trend is tracking downwards, police and partner agencies are concerned at the current rate of road death, which is 22 people higher than at the same time last year. Police will also focus on slow drivers who impede the flow of traffic and will issue notices where appropriate, as police want to avoid other drivers becoming frustrated then taking risks that put themselves and other road users in danger. And finally, while you are hard at work today, how about your local elected representatives?
I have apologies this morning from Councillor Fulton, Councillor Rainey, and Councillor Ward and Councillor Noonan for lateness. So the first 2 are for the full meeting and the second 2 are for lateness. So I'll move that we accept the apologies. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'll put the apologies. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you.
Should a reason not be given for being late or absent, just as it would be for you or I to our employers? Email in and let us know what you think. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that fat old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from the Facilitators. We now look after sales for Mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms Mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Here at Yes Shop, we love the word yes.
Yes!
We say yes to kitchenware. We say yes to beauty. We say yes to homewares. We say yes to fashion. We say yes to electronics.
Yes to Philips. Yes to Dell. Yes to Apple.
Happy Cool, Glad, Goldia, Huron and thousands of other products in our store.
Yes!
So yes to TV shopping that's all about fun, made right here in New Zealand with Kiwi presenters like me.
Yes! Say yes to the ultimate service.
With dedicated presenters taking the product out of the box and showing you how it works.
And what it can do for you.
Say yes to our international buying power. That lets us bring you the best bundles at the best bargains.
All from the comfort of your own home.
24 hours a day.
So what are you waiting for?
There's nothing quite like it.
Come with me.
Say yes to Yes Shop.
Yes!
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Nelson Theosophical Community Workshop with Murray Rogers, who will be presenting the Procession of Signs, astrological poems at the Nelson Spiritualist Church on the corners of Motueka and Tipahai Streets, Sunday, November the 29th from 1 till 4 p.m. Nelson Women and Children's Refuge Dinner and Auction is on White Ribbon Day, November the 25th, 7 p.m. at the Boathouse, Wakefield Quay, Nelson. Lovely food and excellent auction. Tickets are $50 from Yellow Cafe, the Swedish Bakery and the Boathouse. For more information, please contact John. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
This is a beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. It's a large internal access double garage. It fits 2 cars nicely with a little workshop bench at the end of it. In this room we have 2 large lazy boys, a 3-seater and a 2-seater leather lounge suite, 50-inch Samsung TV and a heat pump. Features are a cathedral ceiling and of course that beautiful view.
For relatively little cost, you too can sell your house. Do it yourself. You're the best person to promote and sell your own house. Your personal endorsement is the best selling proposition. Put yourself on screen and sell it. You know the attractions of your house. You know it better than anybody else. So, get up there and tell us all about it. Sell it.
Upstairs we have 3 bedrooms. One of these has a full ensuite, that's the master bedroom, with large bifold doors. Now out these bifold doors you get to a wraparound deck area that faces northwest, and this is lovely in the morning for sitting and having your coffee.
Hawk Films is now producing for you an advertising package and a broadcasting service at a price far lower than you would expect. We will produce your advertising video and feature it across TV, radio and electronic media. Your message will be up to 3 minutes long and it'll be broadcast 5 times a day on radio and TV. 5 times a day. And it will be listed online all day, every day, for exposure to your potential buyers. You can also use the ad and the photos to promote your house on radio, TV, Trade Me and other real estate sites. We can also offer drone aerial shots for a totally different viewpoint from the one you would normally see. Selling your house is up to you and your solicitor. We're here to merely add value to your advertising strategy. Give me a call and let's get your property on the market. Or better still, email or text me and I'll call you back.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220. And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979. So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Nelson Tire Center, great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer, all types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.